So Kanye is back making exclusives for Tidal. Just when you thought you could walk away from a brand that you don't even care about. We going live from the underground. What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back with another live from the underground, and here we go in on particular topics that go on during the day, anything important. Usually I'm trying to pop up and talk about it for a little bit. And today, the track that got delayed that was supposed to come out with all the new music on Friday, but you know how Kanye West does. He doesn't release anything on time because he's just a not on time person. He made songs about never being on time. How can you be shocked about it now? Clearly, he's rapping about his life as seen on this project as well. But so this project is called Eazy, featuring The Game. Potentially a song off of Donda 2, maybe. Or just a song that he's just throwing out there while he is currently working on Donda 2, as we all should have seen by now. And, you know, I'm all for Kanye getting back to work. I mean, what else you got to do? Well, you're going through a divorce and is becoming public. So he decided to take it into his own hands and give his own point of view on this particular track here. My issue is, Psy, it's not a very good song. But let's start from the top. Starting with the artwork that you're seeing right now, man, with a skinned monkey. What does this actually mean? How does this relate to anything on the music? Who knows? It's Kanye. Just like I told you in my reaction for the Heaven and Hell video, like his imagery just goes super deep that it's impossible to decipher because it's Kanye. Again, I don't think Kanye knows what Kanye is doing for a lot of the times, but yet he probably just, yo, that looks good. I can make that hot. Let me go ahead and put that out there. Instead of actually thinking that people are going to try to take it and put more meaning behind it. Like, just until you get explanation for the things that Kanye does, you kind of just got to chalk it up at this point. You feel me? But people all over social media has been going wild for this track already. If you look on Twitter right now, it's still trending. And I don't know why. Like, in the terminology of the people, man, this ain't nothing but some mid. It's nothing close to quality Kanye West music, but people so desperate for new Kanye, one, and two, people pole jock Kanye West so much that it doesn't matter what he's going to release, you're going to believe that it's hot, when in reality, this is like being excited to watch the Steelers versus the Chiefs, which I'm projecting as a massive blowout. We're going to get smashed. I'm a Steelers fan. We're going to get smashed. I am not so much of a Steelers fan that I can't come to realize that we're overmatched. Big Ben is washed up. This game is all but a wrap. We shouldn't have made the playoffs to begin with. I'm not so big of a Steelers fan that I can't realize the real. But yet, it seems as though people are so much of Kanye fans that you can't tell that, yeah, he's washed up. Two, this is not a phenomenal beat, in which Kanye needs phenomenal beats in order to remain relevant at this point. Well, nah, he don't need it to remain relevant, but to create quality music, he needs fire beats, and he hasn't been delivering on that for a little minute now. You dig? Don't be so blinded by the fact that he's Kanye and every time he drops, he's getting in the hundreds of millions of views on anything that he does. Don't let that blind you from the fact that he hasn't delivered quality music for quite some time now. All the symptoms of someone who's washed up. But let's go into that production. It's super dry. And, you know, one would assume that, you know, this is all just Kanye West doing it all himself and he didn't have no help. That's why it's so bad. But no, there's a lot of chefs in this kitchen here. Maybe too many. That could be one of the key problems. Like, okay, who did some stuff on this production? DJ Premier, who at the very end, you hear all that scratching and stuff. That's DJ Premier doing his thing. And honestly, I think that's my favorite part of the whole production. They gave Whack 100 credits towards the production. Have no idea what he did, but Whack 100 is not a producer. He could be just a producer in name value. He's muscling his way on it because he's affiliated with the game and all of that stuff. So he could go ahead and get him a little bit of royalties off of a song. That would not shock me here. You got Hit Boy and Mike Dean on this joint, which honestly, I respect them both as producers. Mike Dean seems to be going in more the direction of the engineer at this point. But the way I chop it up, this may not have happened, but the way I see it is Kanye, who's also listed on this, he created the sample. The sample was trash, and he sent it out for Mike Dean to clean it up and Hit Boy to add some more to it. And to be real with you, what can one actually do with something that's already trash to begin with, man? Like, you can't build a house when the foundations is already underwater, already leaning to the left, already like disastrous. Like, that's how houses collapse. But yet, the foundation of this, which seems to be a simple sample that Kanye did and a little bit of nothing attached to it, that's being trash pretty much built the rest of the house to be completely trash. There was nothing Hit Boy, who is a solid producer. I don't think, like, people are giving him a whole lot of credit for all of these joints that he's been doing with Nas, to Big Sean, to, I think he did something with Freddie Gibbs, right? Everybody like, oh, he got all these classics that he's coming out. No, just give me one classic, Hit Boy. Give me one. Like, he got some good songs scattered throughout all of these projects that he's been doing. He's been putting in the work. I respect it. I respect the work. You're using all of you're using all of your connections to go ahead and put out as much music as you can and trying to bring your name higher than what it always been. But I'm not going to give you props for like classic material after all of this. Like, there's only like 3 songs off of all of the collaborations that you've done with Nas that I'm actually keeping. Didn't keep anything from the Freddie Gibbs project, and I love Freddie Gibbs. You dig? Overall, though, it's like I said, I feel as though there's way too many chefs in this kitchen and nobody actually participated and made anything worthwhile here. This is honestly a beat I would have thrown away. It is what it is. But then, I mean, to continue to look at the credits and stuff, you realize that he put his new chick, Julia Fox, on the track and gave her some background vocals, which is going to give her some money off of this track. And that's super petty, like on a track where you're talking about your divorce and how petty it is for you to go ahead and buy the house next door and act like you poor to make your kids eat top ramen. Like, you showing how super petty you are to put your new chick on background vocals for the one diss that you got at this, where she's the one who said, who? You dig? Like, that's super petty. I like it. I like that pettiness. Throw it all in there. If you're going to do it all the way up to the 10th. It's just not very good. I like the pettiness of it, but the quality of it is pretty trash. But let's go ahead and look directly into this track, man. Starting with The Game, where he is back on the whole style to shout out everybody in his direction, which people vividly dislike. But so these people that he's shouting out on this one, man, would be Biggie, Dr. Dre, which he always does because he's the game. Eazy-E, Problem, Ty Dolla $ign. He's keeping it West Coast on that. Then he throws in Puffy. He threw in Puffy with Biggie Smalls, as, you know, that's usually what's going to happen. But then, you know, my thing is I can't be entirely mad at him for all of that because there was very little to actually work with. You feel me? Like, when Kanye West, of all people, wants you to be featured on a project, you don't say no to that. Do you know how much money that is? Even if it's a trash song, do you know how much money people are going to get paid just to be on a Kanye track? Like, it's not going to be shocking to me if this is part of a new deal with Tidal where he can get exclusive rights and whatever money, and you get the most money off of Tidal of the vast majority of the streaming websites and stuff out there. Well, of all the ones that have a certain amount, like you dig, like I made a video about it a while ago where it was what's it called? I forget the name of it, but the one that paid the most was the old hackers site where they was dropping everything. Like they what's it called? I cannot think. Napster. Napster was the one that Napster's the one that people paid the most for. You get paid the most for, but yet ain't nobody really on Napster. Overall, Tidal, in terms of how many millions of people are subscribed to it, that's the one that people are going to. So therefore, there's going to be a lot of money tied to this being a Tidal exclusive where they're going back to that. So how could you, the game, turn down the raw amount of money that's going to come from this kind of exclusive? The fact that everybody is already super hyped about this song already on social media when he just dropped it randomly, he dropped it late. Like, he just did the best that he could do with what he had available, where it was a trash beat, but, he made it happen. He's getting a check, and that check is probably going to go to that chick that he's been having his issues with. Where he probably should have went on ahead and talked about that, because that would have at least been on topic. But then let's go on to Kanye West's verse. Kanye, of course, is discussing his divorce. And I'm not mad at that either because, whenever you going through pain, anything that you're going on in your life, man, you throw that on wax. Like, you never know if you can make it into something quality, if you can make a hit, if you can make something that people relate to. I'm sure a bunch of divorced, bitter old men out there, man, will probably play this like, oh man, he's talking about my life. He's talking about something real. And that can possibly work. I can see the direction, but again, not a fan of it. But so some of these lyrics that are being spit here by Kanye West, he's saying that he is the table. Very interesting. He is clearly listening to the men's dating channels on YouTube. He's talking about some things that these dating channels have been talking about for quite some time. If you go ahead and just do a YouTube search, people have been talking about that. He is clearly trying to get help. Thank God, because he clearly messed up when he decided to marry Kim Kardashian to begin with. So the fact that he's actually seeking a little bit of help from some people that seem to know what they're doing, okay, I'm with that. Just, it's not a great bar. I'm just happy that he's using it. He's using all the tools all the tools that he has available. Now, I'm hoping you're listening to the business. Do not listen to the manosphere. The manosphere is trash, but 9 times out of 10, he's listening to the manosphere because he's Kanye. But some of the balls that he was saying on this, I actually did enjoy. Like, he's like, yo, man, no more counseling, man. I don't negotiate with therapists. That was cool. Why? Because that's a play off of you don't negotiate with terrorists. He just replaced terrorists with therapists as he's talking about how he's going through therapy with his wife and all of that stuff, man. Excellent. Like, I definitely enjoyed Kanye with his simplistic balls. From time to time, he will hit. And that one seems to be a hit that people, are overshadowing, that people aren't actually understanding because they're so caught up in the nonsense than actually breaking down what's being said and what's happening. You feel me? But I like that. And then he mentions Dr. Dre, just like the game mentions Dr. Dre. So I guess they are somewhat on topic together a little bit, just a little bit. But Kanye is more going in the direction of, him and Dr. Dre are having the best divorces ever. And I agree. I mean, Dr. Dre got away with only giving his wife $100 million. Now, to a lot of people, that's a lot of money. When you hear, oh, she's making $100 million, oh, a lot of dudes would be hurt by that. Dr. Dre is clearly worth a billy. Dr. Dre was clearly giving her $2 million a month, every month, for like almost the entirety of the marriage. Like, only having to pay $100 million, got off super. Like, bruh, he probably getting that $100 million back for the Super Bowl. If the Super Bowl does go down, because they saying that there's a chance that the Super Bowl halftime party can be scratched. And if they do that, then Dr. Dre is on the hook because he had to put up the money in order to do everything. And why would you even sign that kind of deal, Dre? That was stupid. Like, you're dealing with billionaires, multi-billionaires, all of the league, all of these people can easily come up with all of the money for the halftime show. Why would you put up your own money to do the halftime show? But if it goes down the right way, man, risk meets the reward. I ain't mad at it. I think he has something epic planned that he can actually make this into something great. So I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, he could make that $100 million that he lost to his wife on that one particular date. Ain't no telling how much money he's getting paid for that new Grand Theft Auto extension game. That's why the new Grand Theft Auto seems to be taking forever, because Grand Theft Auto is making so much money just by extending what they doing on GTA 5. And if they're making enough money that they can go ahead and get Dr. Dre to do something, then he clearly got broken off a little bit. So I can't be. So I mean, what Kanye is saying on how they're having the best divorces ever, I agree. They definitely are. Am I saying that these are like the greatest balls or anything like that? Nah. It's not even working on the beat. But it's entertaining. And that's the thing about Kanye. As I said on the Heaven and Hell video reaction, regardless of whatever Kanye does, regardless of if it's good, bad, it's always entertaining. It's always something that's going to keep you tuned, keep you focused on everything that he got going on. And that's exactly what he's doing here. It's just trash. The next thing that I wanted to point out was when he was talking about how Illuminati is so mad. As I told you, again, on the Heaven and Hell reaction video, that the Illuminati dudes was going to come out heavy. All these people were going to be talking about that heavy because of the video imagery that was going on, when yet nobody knows exactly what he was saying, exactly what he means by the imagery or anything. People are just going to assume whatever they want to assume and put it towards anything. But again, nobody knows what Kanye means because Kanye don't even know what he means. But the last thing I wanted to point out was clearly the diss, where he's saying, God saved me from the crash so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass. And sigh. Like, he said it with such confidence, didn't he? He said that like he was dropping the greatest punchline. He was saying that like he was dropping the ether punchline, like he was killing Jay-Z or something. Like, no. This was complete trash of a punchline, dude. One, okay, let's start with one. A lot of people question if you actually got into that car crash, fam. Now, I mean, he's been riding with that for so long that, you know, there's no way that he can go back on it. But a lot of people are pointing at that he got into a fight and got beat up around that same period of time in Chicago or somewhere. I forget, you dig? But he's trying to be lyrical. He's trying to point at the fact that, my life have led up to this point. Like, why else? Like, if I didn't, like, there was no reason for me to have not have died in a massive car wreck if it was, in fact, a massive car wreck. But there was no reason for him to have not died for it to lead up to this point where he is now thinking about fighting Pete Davidson over his ex-wife. Says a man who's clearly not over his wife, but they're going to go through, it seems as though they're going through with the divorce and all that stuff. And I mean, it is what it is. Like, if Kim K was actually smart, she would have long since taken Kanye West back, because he was going through through all the performances that he had with Drake and all of that stuff. He was going through that, talking about how he wanted to make things work, how he wanted to get back together with Kim K and all that stuff. If she was smart, she would have got back with him, because that is a massive fall off for Kim K. You talking the most notable musician of an entire time period, who's also dominant in fashion, who's clearly worth close to $1 billion, where he can be petty enough to buy the house right next door to you during a divorce, just so that he can see his kids and do whatever he wants to do, even though he's clearly going through his own issues at the time. Can Pete Davidson do that? That's my question. What houses can Pete Davidson buy in LA? Like, there may be a reason why he's really been staying in New Jersey, staying with his moms out in New Jersey. And there ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Hey, he's being frugal, he's being smart with what he got. But, I mean, Saturday Night Live don't pay that much, dude. So, the lifestyle in which Kim Kardashian is accustomed to at this point, in terms of getting notoriety wherever she goes, being the toast of the party in all the musical areas, being part of the whole in the design industry, having somewhat of a face in the popping up to all of this stuff. Now you're gonna have to pay for all of that. Like, before, when you was with Kanye, you can just be welcome and go wherever you want to, because Kanye is Kanye. People don't want to be on the bad side of Kanye, and it's not very difficult to get on that bad side of Kanye, because clearly he jumps off the deep end whenever you see him trending. You feel me? But all of these privileges, all of the massive amounts of money, all of the stuff that's taken care of for your kids and all that stuff, all of that can dry up real quick. And Pete Davidson ain't going to be able to pick up where that left off. Pete Davidson is a massive fall off. And for Kanye to go ahead and put his next chick on is super petty. Super petty, especially in that moment. And I like it, but yet this was just not the one, man. This was clearly not the one. But I definitely enjoyed it, though. I definitely enjoyed the content, the lyrical content. What up, world needs help? He's saying, bro, relax. Nah, man, we going all the way in. Like, Kanye, when Kanye drops, he demands the attention, and I'm going to give him the attention that he been wanting. But, I mean, at the end of the day, when Kanye West, an individual that people deem as one of the best to come out consistently, one of the most notable individuals in the music industry, decides to drop something late as usual, then we have to always talk about what he's like. He's clearly to the forefront of the music industry. How can someone to the forefront of the music industry not be spoken about? How can we not touch on everything that there is? Because this is what he wants. He wants the attention. You dig? There's no other reason why he's disclosing everything that he's going through, from his divorce to how he's treating his kids, to how he bought up a house next door to his wife, and all the stuff that, we all knew about it from the news, from, people stay up in his business. So he decides to take it and make something of his own out of it. But he's to the forefront of the game, man. We got to break it down. We got to go ahead and look at this all the way through, top to bottom, and realize that it's a trash track. I like Kanye being Kanye. I like Kanye being lyrical. Like, I like some of the lyrics that Kanye is saying here. Super simplistic, but yet he's still just not adding anything of substance enough to overshadow the fact that the production needed so much more. You feel me? This production is what holds back this entire track. Like, this, honestly, if he actually took his time and made a better beat for this, I think there could have been so much more to it. I think the game would have created a better verse off of it, maybe. And I say that possibly. Like, the game is showing all the symptoms of a washed up rapper on top of that too. Like, as much as people on social media saying, oh, the game and Kanye, they never missed. That's a lie. They clearly missed here. They swung and missed. They completely missed the rim. They missed like Shaq at the free throw line on this one. They missed like Rodman at the free throw line for this one. They missed badly. They missed like Russell Westbrook here. You dig? But I'm not mad at the content. I'm not mad at the direction that they decided to try and go in with the content, because the content is just them being, is Kanye being real with the things that he's going on in his life. World Needs Help says that Pete was chilling with Kanye and Kim and been around. If you had someone you see as somewhat of a friend and they hit your wife, you wouldn't care what the world had to say. You gonna talk your ish. If you had someone you see as someone as a friend, yeah, I mean, clearly, yeah, I mean, that I ain't mad at Kanye for responding, because, Pete Davidson clearly was there trying to sneak into the front door, sneak into the back door with his wife and all that, which is, hey, man. Men who are married, these are the emotions that you go through, especially when the divorce and all of that stuff is coming around. I've seen it with individuals. I've seen how people get hurt, how people get caught up in their feelings. It is what it is. I'm just saying, I mean, I like the content. I like the fact that he's being petty. I like all of that. What I'm saying is the track is trash. There's a difference between, I like the fact that he's saying everything and putting it in the context that he wants to put it in, because the news has been taking it and spinning it and making it into, oh, Kanye is losing, Kanye is desperate to get Kim back, and all of this, when the reality is, Kanye, he's getting off really good with this one. Kanye is indeed having the best divorce ever. He's putting it in the proper context, because, I mean, he got him a better, younger bride. He can see his kids whenever he wants to see his kids, because he's petty enough to buy the house right next door. Like, Kanye is doing very well for this. Just like how Dr. Dre is doing very well in his divorce. Like, I like the fact that he putting it in his context to give his side of the story. I'm just saying he could have did it in a better song. One, he didn't have to create the sample, and that's where it all went wrong. I believe in my point of view, in which I wasn't there during the recording process. I do not know how this went down, but just hearing it and seeing the credits, from what I can tell, is he created the sample and the beat, and then he sent it out to Mike Dean, and he sent it out to Mike Dean and Hit Boy to clean it up. But what can they actually do to clean up and fix a beat that's already trash? Because you're not as amazing as a producer as you think you are. Like, Kanye thinks he's the most amazing producer there ever was, ever laid hands to anything, but he's not. Like, all his best beats, the foundation of it came from him starting with the sample, but yet there was other people right there with him when he was making the sample. These people who were actually adding more stuff to it as he was creating it from the beginning, instead of him just sending it off and seeing what anybody can do with it from that point on. You understand? That was the core foundation where this entire song went wrong, is he did the production. And then he tried to get others to build upon it, when he's not a great producer. He never have been, but yet he's been able to use the people that's around him to create great stuff. But yet he's always needed great production in order to craft his hits. And this not being great production doomed the entire thing. Even with him discussing things that are very entertaining, that people want to hear about, and all of that stuff, even with him doing that, it made it useless to a degree. You feel me? But I'm glad that, he got it off his chest. I'm glad that we got a chance to listen to his point of view, and see his direction that he was bringing to everything, man. I'm glad that he did all of this. Hopefully, he will continue to update it like he was doing all of Donda. If you guys remember, Donda was never finished. He kept on trying to make it better, and still, but yet he was releasing individual songs while he was doing the performances. Hopefully, he will do somewhat of the same thing here. You feel me? Hopefully he will continue to adapt it, upgrade it, get better production, get better producers. Like, why? Kanye is at the point, man, that he doesn't have to lay hands on the keys or the samples ever again. What's keeping Kanye from just going ahead and finding him some dope producers like Dr. Dre does? Let's not confuse this. Like Dr. Dre does. Dr. Dre don't be laying hands on the keys no more, at least not for the most part. Like, Dr. Dre probably does still do a little bit of something, but for the most part, all of his best beats that Dr. Dre has been laying his name on top of has been coming from independent artists that's doing their thing. He pays these people some short change so that he can put his name on top of it, and then go ahead and throw his own drum kits on the bottom of it. And now it's a Dr. Dre beat that he can sell for millions when he bought it for, what, $20,000, $30,000? That's how Dr. Dre does his own thing. Why can't Kanye do that? And I know some people will be like, oh man, that's a cop-out. He needs to be doing all of this stuff. If he's not inspired, when the best inspiration that he has is this type of production, and then when you go back and listen to Donda, you can tell that he's super uninspired there. Why not give an opportunity to underground producers that need the opportunity, that need to get that little bit of money so that they can build up their own identity? Why are you being selfish on something that, like, I understand you want to produce, have a hand in producing all your own stuff. I understand that, but you clearly are no longer like really interested in being a great musician. You're clearly more interested in your own hype. You're more interested in having beef with Pete Davidson and your beef that you had with Drake and all that stuff. You're more interested in that than actually putting together the best music that you possibly can. And when you reach that point, you have to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. Do I really want to do music like this no more? Do I really want to do music like that anymore? Am I really all this interested in doing music like this anymore? Like, I like going out and performing. He clearly likes to put all of the imagery and images and all of these crazy things that he do for his performances. He loves that. He loves doing the clothing designs and all of he definitely loves all of that stuff. But when you listen to the music for the last bunch of albums, can you really deep down honestly tell me Kanye has been inspired? Serious question. Serious question. Can anybody here tell me that Kanye has been inspired for his last bunch of albums? Like, even like, cause his mom's died making the Donda album. That should have been all the inspiration that he needed to make something great, right? Why couldn't we hear the inspiration come out on the tracks? Why wasn't there any great music really to come out on the joint? We know Kanye can be a great musician. We know this. We know he's a great musician. We know he creates classics, but we haven't been hearing none of the classics. We haven't been hearing none of that for any of the last bunch of albums. Why he's not inspired? World Needs Help says, I agree. This is not Kanye's best track, but I think he just had to get something off his chest. The game and the producers were just too excited to work with Ye. I mean, and I agree. I feel you. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. And yes, I mean, who isn't going to be excited to work with Kanye at this point? You feel me? There's way too much money and notoriety that goes around everything that Kanye does. Like, to the point that is detrimental. You feel me? Like, Kanye needs somebody to be right there with him. Like, yo, man, we need to keep, he needs to pay somebody for quality assurance. You feel me? He needs somebody right there telling him that's not going to work, Kanye, because this beat, we need, I like what you're saying. What you're saying is dope, but this beat, it needs to be better. We need to fix this up, but you're working on something here. You got something here that can become something. We just need to get it tight though. Don't put it out there yet. We need to go ahead, fix this one up. Let's go ahead and bring in Timberland. Let's go ahead and bring in an actual producer, Just Blaze, somebody who actually does do samples and do them well. Let's go ahead and make this into something real instead of you just putting this out there because what you're saying is pretty cool. You feel me? Like, there was potential here. There was a lot of potential here, but people are too excited to work with Kanye that you're going to allow Kanye to just get away with everything that Kanye wants to do when he's human. He's a mere mortal like all of us. You understand? It's like, for those of you who don't know, I like to play Street Fighter. There was a period of time where I would show people my live Street Fighter results and stuff as I've become a pretty good player. You dig? But when I played it, when I was younger, I would play against some of the best people that was out there. Like, there's an individual out there, his name is Smug. Like, he's one of the best out there in the United States right now. He's definitely top 200 in, he's probably like he's definitely top 200 in the world, probably. He's definitely top 200 in the world. Me, I'm top 10,000 in the world. But I would play Smug. And I would get so damn nervous. Like, oh, this is Smug. I don't know how I can beat him. He's amazing. And I sent him a message like, yeah, man, I just get nervous all the time when I be playing you because I played him multiple times and he beat me every single. I've yet to beat him and I fought him like 6, 7 times. I have yet to beat him because he's always been that nice. He always put in that much work. But then I hit him with a message like, yeah, man, I'm always so nervous when I play you. He's like, man, don't even trip on that, man. I'm just human. Just play your game the next time we see each other. And the next time I saw him, like, yeah, man, forget the fact that he's smug. I don't care. I'm going to fight my way. And I took him all the way to the end of the round. I almost beat him. I beat him one round, but I didn't beat him in the game. It came super close. It came all the way down to the wire. But it was, once I let go of the fact that I'm super nervous about being around you and the potential of me beating you, I'm like, man, I'm going to clip this win. I'm going to post that. Ooh, I'm going to make somewhat of a name of myself if I beat Smug right now. Even though, I mean, people lose all the time. It is what it is. But that's the type of nervousness that people get when Kanye calls. When Kanye calls you, oh, you going to do everything Kanye wants you to do. Point blank period, because he's Kanye. Regardless of if his ideas are off the deep end, which we all know is possible because it's Kanye. Instead of doing him a service, like, yo, Kanye, I want to help you. I want to make something amazing. I want to make a classic, dude. And taking a chance that he catches offense, he could easily be, oh, I'm Kanye and you ain't nobody. Like, how could you tell me that you want to make a classic song? Brother, this is a classic song because I'm Kanye. I'm not even going to look out for you no more. I'm going to go ahead and blackball you all the way out. That's possible. Kanye can do that. And we've seen individuals do that to people. Like Nicki Minaj. When Tory Lanez tried to tell Nicki Minaj, yo, I think we can do better than this particular song right here that we, I think it was called Shotters or something like that. I forget the actual name of the song, but Tory Lanez was featured on a song with Nicki. No. Nicki was featured on a particular song with Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez hit her back like, yeah, I love you, Nicki. I love you, but I think we can do better and make something grander. And she went full Nicki Minaj. I'm Nicki Minaj. You're Tory Lanez. You take me off of the song. I don't need to do anything with you. I'm okay. You need my hype. You understand? That's the type of egotism that these people on this level go through. So when you keep it 1,000 with an individual like a Nicki Minaj or a Kanye West, you are in fact risking everything. So I cannot be mad at the game, at DJ Premier, at Hit Boy, at Mike Dean. I can't be mad at any of these people for not telling Kanye, yo, this ain't what it is, bro. This ain't what it is. Not everybody is built to be able to be the most hated and to have an enemy like Kanye West, to have somebody super mad at you because you kept it honest with them. Not everybody's built like that. But just based off of my reputation, of how badly I'm hated by all of my subscribers, well, I'm not even gonna say all my subscribers, but a lot of the people who subscribe to me, a lot of people only come here to hate on the next video that I'm doing. Point blank period. With that being me and knowing that I just can't, I can't be anybody but myself. You feel me? If Kanye would have asked me to do a track, yes, I'm there all day. I'm there to work with you, Ye. And I'm going to try to put it in the best context possible. But if the track is trash, I'm not going to let that slide. But, I mean, it's all in how you deliver it, though. It's all in how you can't just be like, yo, Kanye, man, this track is trash, bro. I can't see myself doing it. We can do better than this. Nah, you can't put it like that. I would put it more like, oh, Kanye, this is like this right here, your idea, what you're trying to put out there, I love it. I love what you're trying to do here. Like, but we need to fix the foundations. the foundation of the house, if it's not 100% perfected, then the whole house is going to collapse. And this whole message that you're going to send out isn't going to reverberate like you want it to reverberate. We have to take this all the way back from the scratch. Like, keep your verses. If we can produce something that makes it so that you want to go back and redo your verses, that's us doing our job the way we need to do it. But let us be the musicians here. Let us take this to a whole nother level so that we can give your whole career another 10 years. That's the type of track that you're making right here. We just need to do it right. Believe in me. I can make it happen. And if you don't believe in me, just give me 3 days. I'll find you the producers. I'll find you the beat. And maybe we can take this and make this into something so much greater. World needs help, saying, imagine saying that to Kanye. I saw what you said before you deleted it. And I feel you. It's a difficult, like, man, bro, that's something that you gonna have to hold your nuts and then be bold and say something like that to somebody who's worth $1 billion. Fam, trust me, that is very difficult to say to anybody who can make or break your damn career. You're basing everything off the fact that, off of a potential that he can see what you mean. He won't be so full of himself that he can actually rock with you on it. You're taking a major risk. You're taking a major risk with that. And that's facts. Imagine anybody being willing and able to say that. But somebody has to, don't you think? In order for somebody to have continued greatness out here, you need that. And those who are great are the ones who accept it for what it is and don't catch any offense, don't catch enough offense, don't let the relationships change based on the music. You feel me? That's what you... Okay. Something that I wasn't going to tell people for quite some time, but I started getting back into making a little bit of music. You feel me? And I created I made some demo tracks that I played for some close family and such. And I hit them with the, hit me with the criticism, man. Hit me with everything that you want to say about this. You did. There's no feelings to be had. I want to know how you feel. And I got what I wanted. Now, I took it with a grain of salt because I understand what these people do, how these people feel about music, what kinds of music that they want, what kinds of music they put out. I take it with a grain of salt, the point of views of what I am creating. Now, I'm going to continue to sit on it, think about it, maybe use some of the positives, the negatives that they was telling. I'm going to continue to sleep on that and listen to the music and determine, is that something that I could... Hold on for 1 second. These boys being bad as hell. Hey, quit yelling. Sorry about that. But so, I could easily get into my whole bag of, none of y'all got thousands. Like, I got thousands of subscribers. Not a lot, but it's far more than all of these people that I let listen to my stuff. And I could be like, people listen to me more for my opinions and things that I say than y'all have ever listened. Like, I've gotten more views than y'all have ever gotten in all of y'all lives combined. I could go in that direction. I could be petty like that kind of petty. But I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that because I need the down to earth. I need people to hit me with the real on the true point of view on how they're actually feeling about it. Now, whether I use the knowledge, use what they're trying to tell me, whether I use it or not, that's up in the air. It depends on how I feel about it by the end of the day, regardless of if I'm just going to continue, regardless if I'm going to continue to go about it the way I want to go about it, or adapt based off of the feedback that I'm getting. It really depends on how I'm feeling as an artist at the time. But I'm not going to turn my back on these people for telling me the real deal, though. I'm not going to be upset and mad at them for giving me the true to life opinion. Nah. I asked for something and I got it. And I needed it. I need the whole down to earth thing so that I can continue to try to get better. World Needs Help says, one of the genius of Kanye, that doesn't make sense, but is staying controversial. The genius of Kanye is staying controversial. Sometimes even it compromises his art. He is not afraid to take a risk. He did the same thing with Lil Pump. As dumb as that song with Lil Pump was, it stayed legendary. I'm not going to say that it was legendary, fam. No, that song was trash. That's one song, when we look back at Kanye's longevity and his whole career, that's not one song that people gonna say, oh, that's right there. Like, that's not going to be one of the top 5 songs that people look back at like, yo, that was great. People gonna look back at, Can't Tell Me Nothing. People gonna turn back and look at, Never Let Me Down. People gonna go back, look at, Make Me Stronger. People gonna look back at the hits, the legendary hits that got multiple plays. Nobody, that's going to be a song that's probably going to be long forgotten. Honestly, I feel as though that song is already been forgotten. It is what it is, but you're right though. Kanye's genius is being controversial. That's what makes him, that's what keeps his longevity. That's what keeps his brand in music alive. The fact that he can be super controversial and talk about anything that's going on in his life and do anything that he wants in music. He does anything that he so well pleases. You feel me? And I respect that. I respect that 1,000. The controversy and the fact that he's continually talking everything that people want to hear in the music industry, his beef with Drake and all of this stuff. All of this is helping him stay relevant. It's nothing about it is the music. All it is, everything that he's talking about, everything that he's doing, it's all drawing controversy. It's all new stuff. He's always doing something unique and different. It's the same thing, the artist, what's his name? Picasso. This is why Kanye said that he's the modern day Picasso. It's why he made an album somewhat dedicated to what Picasso did. See, Picasso has a direct quote that he was quoted from. Like, look, I would rather create trash than be forgotten. And that's something that Kanye seems to have taken to heart. Like, if you create, because Picasso, he was a good artist, but then people began to forget him because his whole craft, people wasn't really rocking with his craft all like that no more after a while. So then he just started making artwork to be controversial. He just started crafting things that was so crazy that people was like, what is he doing? But the fact that people was questioning what is he doing kept him relevant. So therefore, every piece that he came out after that was crazier than the one before. Not so much of the same quality, not so much of the same standard quality that he was trying to deliver. No, it wasn't that. It was something that just continued to up his notoriety, not so much something that upped his art. You feel me? And that's exactly what Kanye has taken to heart and has continued to do, and that's what continues to propel himself to the point to where whenever he drops anything at all, we kind of got to talk about it now, don't we? Walt Needs Help says that what made the Lil Pump song legendary, it wasn't the art, it was the moment. The 606 million views, that's pretty legendary. Everything Kanye does is getting in the hundreds of millions of views. You feel me? Like, just because that one got 600 doesn't mean it's going to stand out and last the test of time with others that's hitting in the 300, 400, 500, 600 range. You feel me? Like, that was something that was good in the moment, I guess. It hit in the moment because his fans, Kanye's fans, are never going to let him go. They're always going to listen to everything that he does. But, come on now. When you look back at his career, that's not going to be a top 10 moment. Like, Kanye has made better moments at his own shows where he created a stage that's elevated over the crowd. Everybody who bought a ticket to go to this show had to look up at Kanye, had to look all the way up at Kanye the entire way. Everybody could party on the bottom while he was by himself on a floating stage. That right there is going to be worth more in the grand scheme. People are going to remember that moment more than him doing a song with Lil Pump, where he's in a Roblox outfit, bro. Like, people gonna care more about that. Let's keep that 1,000. Kanye has done far more epic things. People will remember Kanye putting his music videos in random cities worldwide at one date, and he put it on the side of buildings. People gonna remember that promotion more than they remember the Lil Pump video. Because the Lil Pump video was nothing more of him. You know, Lil Pump was trash, but he was the wave of the new trash MCs. And he decided to get Lil Pump for a particular song, and for that moment, it worked out to getting some notoriety, to getting a bunch of views. That's all that's going to end up being. But Kanye, as an individual, he's done some legendary stuff that has changed the way that the music industry has gone. I mean, 808s and Heartbreak changed the entire music industry. Without that, there's no Drake. That's going to be remembered way more than him doing a little whack video with Lil Pump. Like, I'm giving you moment after moment after moment of greatness that Kanye has done in his career. Like, he rapped with a broken jaw and made a hit. Even is still questionable. Like, people still question how he got that broken jaw, but yet nobody questions the fact that he built a career off of a song that he created off of a broken jaw. That's going to go down into the memory banks of what Kanye West was far more than him being in his twilight years of a musician, completely washed up, doing songs with people who were washed up coming into the game because he was always trash. You feel me? But at the end of the day, as I'm summing this up, because I've gone well over the time period in which I usually do these. Like, usually these go only for half an hour. You feel me? I'm about to go on to an hour, and I think I've summarized, I think I've talked about everything there is to talk about this. For anybody who's watching, feel free to watch the playback, man. We discussed the beat, we discussed the feature verse, we discussed the entire verse, we discussed the production, we discussed the the ramifications. We discussed the divorce. We discussed everything that's tied to. We even discussed the previous work going into this, where I made a reaction video on that as well, the heaven and hell. We discussed all of this, so feel free to watch the playback. This was a pretty legendary hour that we had just discussing Kanye here, and I'm glad that we've done it. World Needs Help says that I was just trying to give you an example of him taking a risk on his music, saying dumb things just for controversy. I agree, he definitely had better moments. And that was some BS. And I feel you. I mean, that is a good example of Kanye taking risks. Kanye takes risks all the time, man. I ain't mad at it. Like, and that's what you gotta do. You got to do that, but you don't have to release the risks before they're ready, though. And that may be a great way to conclude this, because when you look at this particular track, it is somewhat of a risk for him to do a track that's just solely talking about this divorce and everything that he's going on, especially since the divorce is not finalized, in which anything you say and do can be used in the court of law. That can be included in your divorce too. When you start coming out boasting about how this divorce, you're having the best divorce ever, you think that they won't, like her lawyers won't take that to the judge and be like, yeah, he's saying that it's so great. Why can't I get like an extra 20 million a month? Everything is great for him, clearly. So yes, this is a risk that he didn't have to take, but it's giving his whole point of view on everything that he got going on, and I'm happy for that. I'm super happy for that, but it would have been amazing if he actually did it the right way. If he actually if he decided, you know what, this is a great idea, let's go ahead and scrap this production. Like, I like the concept of the song, but let's get in a much better beat from somebody who actually does this for a living. Doesn't have to be Timberland. You ain't got to pay $1 million for a beat. You can actually search for an underground producer. Man, call me, Kanye. I can find you a beat for this from an underground producer that just give them 10 bands. That's all you need. And they'll be happy. Put their name in the credits. And then take it, and then you throw your own sample, you throw whatever it is you want to throw on top, you try to freak it the way you want to freak it, or you could take it and recreate it with somebody else that you know, get Mike Dean or somebody Hit Boy to try to recreate it for what it could be. But at the end of the day, the way he pieced this together just wasn't right. But he was on to something, and I do believe this could be something much more. It could have been something great, but yet he rushed it out. He didn't really take his time. He's really not all that inspired with music. He was just merely getting off his chest everything that's been going on with him in the music industry. That's really all that's been going on with this, man. And again, I ain't got no issues with Kanye, man, and all the things that he did on this. But this is the guy who made Power. This is the guy who made My Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is the guy who's made music for entire generations. Entire generations listen to Kanye West. Are you telling me that he couldn't get this right? He's proven over the longevity of his career, he's been in the game for a very long time, that he can make something like this and make it into an instant classic hit, which this is not. This is one of the few moments that he actually did have inspiration. Something to actually talk about. And it didn't pan out. It just didn't pan out at all. But before I keep going, because, I could talk about Kanye all day, because, I love Kanye. At the end of the day, even though I know that he's washed up, I know he's not the same artist that he once was, I'm never going to deny that college dropouts and late registration, those projects influenced me more than anybody in my family. For real, for real. Like anybody in my family who listens and want to do music and all that stuff, they didn't really listen to Kanye like I listened to Kanye at that time. You feel me? So, with all that in mind, I think I have a lot of personal investment. I like Kanye as I did like Kanye as a musician up until the point that he got washed up. And we got to understand he got washed up. But I still respect that. I still respect this man. I respect this man for everything that he does. I respect the fact that he's still notable, that he's still talking about everything that he got going on in his life, that he's still trying to push forward and doing things for the culture. I respect all of this. But I also know he's created some of the best music for an entire generation that influenced me from an early age. And I know what he has the potential to do. And the fact that he is no longer able to do it, I got to call it out because that's what we do here. But everybody who came through, man, I appreciate y'all again, man. I'll be back another day. Maybe, hey, there's about to be a snowstorm hitting today, so I might be back later tonight. You never know. But you guys be easy, man. It was great chopping it up with everybody, dude. I'm going to play one more ad and be up out of here.
Bye.
You want to say something to the people, boy?
No.
All right, everybody. Catch y'all in a minute.